welcome to Simply Sport with me Neeraj Prabhu. The sports personality that we are going to talk to today is the coach of Indian national football team, Savio Medeira. Hi Savio.
Hi.
Savio, let me begin the talk by asking you, what's your philosophy of football coaching?
Philosophy of football coaching, it depends on each coach. He has different ideas. But besides coaching, what my philosophy is about educating players, how to move about in the society, how to be better human beings besides the game what you play. Because players or coaches are seen as role models where they are on the field trying to entertain people which they come to watch them. And if we try to be players as well as the coaches as examples, there can be a lot of improvement in the society. And besides football, that is what is my main aim, to educate players to be moving about in the society where they have to be better humans also.
Apart from that, what kind of coaching approach do you have? I mean, what sort of teams does Savio Medeira field? What's the speciality of your team? What kind of football do they play?
With me, what I try to concentrate is about whenever I'm training, about the shape which is needed very much in the team. Like when you attack, you have to have a certain shape, because the moment you lose a ball, you have to concentrate in defending. So that is what my strong point is, first one. And the second one is what I try to concentrate is the team spirit. Because no matter if you don't have good individuals in your team, but if you have a team spirit, which 11 of them fight together on the field, I think that is the greatest thing what you can have. So these are the two things which I try to concentrate whenever I'm trying to train.
You have previously been a coach for a club, and now you have made a shift into being a coach for the country. So these two fields are quite different. So what were the changes that you had to get inside you?
Yeah, coaching a club and coaching a country are two different things, because it's a step much higher than anyone can expect. And taking the responsibility of coaching a national team where we are about 1.5 billion, it takes a lot of responsibility. And there are a lot of things which you have to see into. It's not only on the field, it's off the field where you have to see, because when we try to move out of the country, we try to represent the nation. And there, not only on the field, outside the field, a lot of things are being considered. So if you go to see, it's a overall thing what I have to see. It's the man management which has to be good, and which at the club level is not happening that much. But if we try to change our structures, starting what we have to do at the national level, starting with the club level, then it can be a lot easier whoever is there in the national team as a coach.
Okay, Savio, looking back, we expected India to do better than what India did in the AFC Challenge Cup. It was a pretty poor performance, and perhaps it must be still hurting you that we did so disastrously in the AFC Challenge Cup in Nepal.
Yeah, if you go to see, there were a lot of expectations when India was supposed to go for the AFC Challenge. And why those expectations were, first thing what I can say is because we had won the SAF championships. The next thing is what everybody expected was when we qualified for the Asian Cup in 2011, we qualified in Delhi in 08. So that was way back in 4 years. So the next year in 09, North Korea qualified. So if you go to see, the expectations from the people or the fans in India after this was a lot more. The next thing what I would consider was we were in a little bit of a tougher group, which is we had a World Cup team in a group, that is North Korea. Tajikistan was quite tough, and Philippines nowadays, if you go to see, people may say Philippines is an easy team. India could have beaten them. But if we had to see, I had to see them, I was surprised, because they had players playing in Iceland, they had players playing in Norway, and their goalkeeper who is playing for them is with Fulham, the English Premier League club. So they have made a lot of strides in their football, which is nowadays, which we think it is too big, and we have to go along with that. So Philippines also was a good team. The other thing was, when I selected this team, it was more of a younger looking team which I had taken to prepare it for the future. And you cannot expect this experience and the maturity which was not there with the youngsters to go and perform there at top level with this kind of opponents. And the next thing what happened was whatever team I had in mind, the players what I had in mind were injured and they were not there, like JJ. He was not there. Then just before selecting the team to go for Nepal, Clifford and Baldeep got injured. So those were the major drawbacks. And overall, if you go to see, I can see the only thing that the juniors what I had expected, only to step in the shoes whenever needed, they were tried straight away in the team. So that was a big difference what I feel. And within a short time to prepare this team with youngsters, it is a big step, but I was ready for it, and that was how I can see it. But if we try to continue doing this with this team, with juniors, it will take some time to compete with this kind of opponents in this kind of tournaments.
Considering all the factors that you have enlisted, don't you think that the players also needed to step up and show that fight and actually the fight to wear the shirt, the pride of wearing the shirt? Don't you feel that you were let down by these players?
No, but what I feel is, yes, that pride whenever you wear that Indian shirt has to be there in everybody. So that has to be there. And the next thing what I feel is when I had confidence in these players and when I take them there and maybe someday it is not performing, maybe it is in a tournament it is not performing. So what I can say is I cannot blame them totally. Yeah, that is what I feel. Now, if I can give an example, in the English Premier League, if you see that Manchester City defeating Manchester United 6-1 at their home ground, that doesn't make them bad. So on a particular given day or in a particular tournament, things can go wrong where I had expected and where I thought my team would do something, but it did not happen, and I have to take it in my stride. So whatever confidence I had shown in the players, I still have it in them, but it will take some time to come out of it and the results what we want.
So after this performance where India failed to even score a single goal, what did you have to tell these boys in a group meeting? I mean, when we finished our group engagements, what did you actually tell the boys?
First of all, if you go to see the teams which we were there, Tajikistan, technically they are much better. North Korea, technically they are much better. And Philippines also was much better. So to expect them to perform at that level with these boys, with these young boys, was too much of a task. But although whatever I had to tell them was, we have to play more as a team. We have to fight together as a team, no matter what is the result, but the performance has to be counted. And that is what the people who come there to see is, they can see what we have dished out. So those were the things what I have told them, especially the juniors. They have to step up a little bit more faster because there are less seniors, more juniors. So they have to get together, gel together as a team. That is what I had spoken to them after the tournament.
India is going through a transition period. There are veterans and leaders, you can say, like Baichung Bhutia, Mahesh Gavri, Climax Lawrence, who have retired. You have also been reported to have said that there was lack of experience and leadership. So, do you think you could have done something different, or perhaps try and include Climax Lawrence so that at least some leadership would have been there in the squad? Do you think, in hindsight, that there could have been something different in your team selection?
No, I think the selection what I have done was looking at the future, as I had said earlier. So whenever you start something new, there are things which I expect and I want to do which doesn't fall in line. So that doesn't mean that the players who have gone, and the names what you have said, when Baichung, Climax, Mahesh also came in as juniors. So when they came in, there was also a transition period. So it is natural that the transition period is always there. But what I have to see is what I want and where I have to go. So that is what, thinking in that mind, I had whatever I had chosen, whatever I had selected. I think I was pretty confident. But things did not work out at that particular time. So that doesn't mean I should cry and say that if these were there, those were there, then it would have been fine. But whatever I had, I have to accept, and I take the responsibility because the performance was not there, and we have to work for better in the future.
One of the rival team's coach, Philippines team's coach, who is a German, I believe, He has been reported as saying that your long ball strategy hurt India's cause. What do you have to say about that?
No, about this thing, if you see when Bob also was there was a lot of calls that we used to play long ball football. But from that time, whatever I feel is whatever resources we had, Bob utilized it to the best. And in a football, you have to have both short passes as well as long passes. Whenever we played in the SAF Championship, nobody blamed or nobody said that we are playing long ball football. But when we went there, just because one coach said, it doesn't imply that we are going to play long ball. So when you can play the short ball passing game is if you have individual players with brilliance, individual players with good technical touches, technical first touches are good. So that is where you can play this game. So I think that will try to follow up as we are trying to, as the AIFF is thinking of trying to step up from the grassroots level. Maybe in the future we can see these kind of games, but saying only long ball football, I don't think it is right, because in a game you cannot play entire minutes a long ball football unless you keep the ball on the ground, and both the things has to be used, a short passing game as well as a long ball game.
Just to sum it up, which are the departments in which our players are falling short? Is it the technical aspect? Is it the physical fitness and the stamina part? Or is it the gaming intelligence?
No, first thing what I see is our technical skill wise we have to improve a lot. And you cannot blame these boys because from the grassroots we do not work on them. The next thing is, if I see, is the strength wise we lack a lot with the opponents. And the third thing what I would find is we lack a lot of height also. Yeah, height whenever we are trying to defend set pieces like corner kicks, defending a free kick, because what you see is in the entire game of football, the opponents, whoever has got height, will come in our defending third to attack only if they have a corner, only if they have a free kick. That is the time the major boys who have got heights, they will come. And that is the time when we are lacking, because we don't have height, we don't have that strength to fight it out, and that is where we are going wrong. So I think these 2-3 aspects, if we try to work on, I think we can be much better.
Savio, you also said after the tournament that we have to change the system here in the I-League. All the clubs are playing foreign strikers and the homegrown players are not getting enough opportunities to polish their striking skills. So do you have a blueprint in mind, or what should the system be like?
What I have said is I have spoken to the GS of the AIFF, because it's not only because I am there, it can be anybody when a national team coach comes. And when you don't find your natural strikers from your own country, then there must be something somewhere wrong. And if we all see that all the I-League clubs, if you go to see, everybody is concentrating on the striking, 2 foreigners in the striking, and if there is an Indian, he is being kept on the bench. So you see most of the time that Indian striker doesn't get a chance, maybe at the most 10 or 15 minutes. So how are we going to get better if the Indian strikers don't get a chance in and out to play competitive games, that too in the I-League? So that is what is the first thing what I have spoken to the GS. If we can change and talk to the clubs that maybe 1 striker and 1 Indian striker has to be compulsory, so that 14 strikers if we have in our country in the I-League, so at least 3 are sure or 4 are sure for to be better.